Hello YouTube, my name is Travos, and I want to talk today about how I am a hypocrite, or just overall, like, hypocrisy is not necessarily a problem, but it's really good to understand. So I'm going to be going through a whole bunch of ways that I am a hypocrite, and how you guys might be able to realize that you are a hypocrite. And I think that's very valuable to understand because not only can you better yourself as a person, but you can understand how other people might react to you, or how your own opinions affect you at certain times and how your opinions change. So this is a very useful thing to understand, but this is going to be really self-centered, so like it's going to be about me this whole time. So just along with this, if you carry on along the whole way with me, just try to understand how my examples connect with you guys, and if we differ or have any kind of differences. The main thing is to understand yourself better, and I hope this sparks some kind of understanding in yourself. And one more thing before we get started is that, like, kind of why hypocrisy is even a thing, is that you see yourself in others. You will always pick out things that are important to you in other people that other people might see differently. Perceptions are really weird that way, and the reason behind hypocrisy being a thing is because people are noticing parts of themselves in other people, and parts that maybe they hate in themselves subconsciously, and there's a huge factor of yourself when noticing hypocrisy, or noticing what you don't like in other people, and it becomes hypocrisy. And again, it's really good to understand this stuff. I love it. One of the main reasons why I feel like I tend to be hypocritical is that I think I'm different than other people, but everyone does happen to be the same, at least to a general sense. Like, obviously people have different interests, but the only reason that I think that I'm more different is, besides the fact that I have a brain and I have a bias to think that I'm different, but besides that, I'm a pretty reserved person. I stay out of a lot of stuff. I tend to, I don't know, I tend to be the oddball in a lot of situations, and I try to purposefully be different, and a lot of the time it makes me feel like I truly am completely different, which I think that if you are like that, you should learn about yourself like I am right now, or like I have already did that I'm going to be explaining. Okay, so I am gonna start really easy right now. A lot of people can be annoying, like everybody can be annoying, but there are certain things where people will do things over and over again, and it tends to annoy me, like a lot of other people will think. And I realize that a lot of the time I try to extend conversations too long, try to explain things too long, try to make sure we're all on the same page too much. I'm giving too many examples right here as well. That's probably kind of annoying, but it gets more extreme sometimes when I'm not watching myself like I am right now, and it can probably get pretty annoying. I'm gonna admit that. Another thing similar to that is when people aren't aware of certain things, or aren't really thinking too much, or in general idiots. Kind of bothers me. And a lot of the time I can be that idiot as well. I might just not care about something at the time. I might just be ill-informed. I might not, like, there are so many different possibilities, and it's not like a huge thing with me like a lot of these other examples to come, but I definitely do get bothered when people aren't really trying to be smart in a certain topic, or like trying to do things well, where sometimes I get pretty complacent as well. I also tend to dislike people who seem to be too friendly, too nice, too happy in certain situations. It feels like they're not really thinking. It's like they're just let the amygdala run and control everything I do. I don't know. It feels like people are robots. They're not actually doing too much, and like a lot of the time, like I probably try to put false friendliness into myself and do things to be like false in that way. And also, being a robot, I tend to just go on a task and keep doing it lifelessly. And like I relate people to robots a lot. Like they're just doing menial tasks over and over. They don't care about anything. But then I go ahead and go do something for hours at a time that to someone else might not mean anything. And, like I just don't understand others well enough to really make those accusations. I also don't really like social media too much, like Facebook, Twitter, that kind of stuff. But then, like, I'm making YouTube videos right now. Like, they're pretty similar. I don't understand what's wrong with me. I just think that, like, I don't know, social media just kind of bothers me. It feels too fake. I do like YouTube for the reason that it's a good place to specifically share ideas and build a community out from nothing that is real. But when you have real people, don't make a fake community. When you have people online, I do believe that it is slightly different on YouTube. But when you have people online, you can make a real community out of fake things because they're just pixels on a screen. But it really is real. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm being a hypocrite. Okay, these next ones will be in rapid fire. I'm a psychopath, but I don't really feel like other people are like thinking too well, or like it feels like everyone's a psychopath, but I don't really understand it. I also get mad when I hear about people using drugs, but I use caffeine, like tons of stuff like that, technically drugs, but I'm thinking more on the illegal side with other people. Other people are really immature in my eyes, but sometimes I can be really immature. Like right now I'm talking about how I dislike other people for really stupid reasons. Like what? That's really immature. What's wrong with me? It feels like other people settle for mediocrity way too often, and I just can't understand it. Do they have some kind of weird complacency to them? Do they have, like, I don't know. But then again, I tend to like lazily go through school. I tend to not really care too much. The complacency is on my side too, like I was explaining before with the robot thing. There's so much that I hate about other people that happens to be in myself, and it's not strong hate. It's just like hypocrisy in general. I hope you guys are able to connect these to yourselves, by the way. A lot of these examples are probably pretty all-inclusive for a lot of you guys, so should be able to find something through this so far, but we got a few more still, so let's get to those, and then we can kind of wrap it up. So another thing that I have is I hate the bystander effect. It just, I don't know, if you don't know what the bystander effect is, it's where something should be happening, like calling the police when something wrong happens, but you think, oh, I don't have to do it because someone else is going to do it. Or maybe more like moral reasons, like, oh, I don't want to do more than should be done because someone else will be already doing it and it'll cause too much effort in the wrong place, and let's just be efficient. That's usually the stance I take on it. But like either way, the bystander effect is terrible. When something needs to be done, or when you're on the sidelines able to step in for something, you shouldn't be a bystander. You really shouldn't, and I really believe that, but a lot of the time I find reasons not to do it. And lastly, I feel like people aren't really themselves a lot of the time. It kind of goes back to one of my early examples where people have false friendliness and they're trying to be happy when they aren't and stuff like that. It seems like people put on too many masks and it just isn't real. It feels like the online communities are more real than real life, which is a contradiction. And it just, I don't know, maybe it's because I can't see as much and can't know that people online aren't really being real, but I think it has to do with the anonymity, being anonymous online, that makes people feel like they're gonna be more of themselves than in real life. But I feel like a lot of people in real life just don't try to be themselves. They try to be something else, someone else, for some kind of reason, some kind of deluded goal, like delusory. I don't know how to. I'm mixing different suffixes, oh well, you know what I mean. And it just feels like people don't really try to be meaningful with what they're doing. And this is one of the hardest things for me to actually connect to hypocrisy, because it's so ingrained into me, this idea. But then, because it's so ingrained into me, I try to be pure. I try to be an individual in this way. I try to be special, something different. And by doing that, by even trying to be something, I'm already trying to be something I'm not currently. So putting extra effort into being pure makes me not who I was. And it's a paradox, it really is. And it really annoys me that this is the case. I believe that I am fairly pure and true to myself, but it feels like I'm trying too hard to be myself, that I stop being myself, if that makes any sense. So that's all of the examples that I have, or at least that I could think of over the past few days, occasionally as I would take my notepad out and write, oh hey, I'm a hypocrite in this way. Oh hey, I'm a hypocrite in that way. And like just occasionally during school I'll be like, oh, I gotta write this down. Yeah, I carry a notepad around. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that doing this as an exercise is pretty good to learn. Even if you don't write it down or do anything with it, it's pretty good to acknowledge how you think and how you feel and other aspects of your life like this, not just hypocrisy. And I'm probably going to be doing a lot of stuff related to metacognition, where you think about how you think. I just love that kind of stuff, so that relates to hypocrisy, what I'm doing now. But I really gotta stop implying that there's gonna be a series going. I gotta stop playlisting and doing that stuff. I just need to make it as spontaneous as possible, because otherwise I'm never gonna feel like having the need to put out a video is going to make it actually a good video. I need to really feel what I'm talking about instead of scheduling a time to make and put out a video. I'm not going to be making too many more planned series unless I'm really committed to that. I gotta fix that about myself, what I've been doing. I'll still come back to a lot of the so-called series that I've started recently, but it just, I don't know. I need a little bit more time to actually feel like it's right to actually make videos like that. So yeah, just a quick little end note there. So yeah, I guess I'm done talking. I guess that's all I have to say. Goodbye.